right, welcome to the Hot Towns video. Here we are, July. Let's take a look at what's been going on in Massachusetts as far as the hottest towns go in the last 30 days. And one thing that just stands out to me right away is that all the towns that I'm going to cover in this video, they all went for 10% or above asking price. So let's dive into it. All right, we're going to start in Southampton. So in Southampton, average sales price $399,000, average list price $375,000. So this is only based on 5 homes, but still the average sales price was 10% above asking. And the average days on market was 29 days. All right, now let's talk about Avon. In Avon, average sales price $508,000, average list price $465,000. So on average, 10% above asking. Average days on market, only 13 days on market in Avon. But again, this is only based on 4 properties, but still, that's what the numbers are. All right, let's jump over to Auburn. So Auburn, on average, again, 10% above asking. Average sales price, $525,000. Average list price, $506,000. Average days on market, 18. And this is based on 10 homes in Auburn. But there's a few categories that kind of affect the numbers. So let's take a look at them. So, there was one home that was listed at $100,000 and it sold for $177,000. So it went for 77% above asking. And then some of the other categories, look pretty strong also as far as hot towns go. You got 5% above from the $300,000 to $499,000 range. The average of all those homes was 5% above asking. In fact, there was only one category that was below asking, and that was the $700,000 to $799,000 range. It was only one home though, but it was listed at $799,000 and it sold for $765,000. So it went for 4% below asking. All right, let's jump over to Shirley. So in Shirley, on average, 10% above asking. Average sales price $532,000. Average list price $486,000. And this was based on 8 homes. And average days on market in Shirley, 13 days on market. So some of the numbers just to dive into and some of the categories. There was one home that was listed at $285,000 and it sold for $325,000. So that was 14% above asking. Then there was another home that was listed at $399,000 and it sold for $450,000. So that one went for 13% above asking. And then there was another home that was listed at $850,000 and it sold for $950,000. So $100,000 more, so that was 12% above asking price. And there were no categories, in Shirley that were below asking. So every category was above asking on average, but those 3 categories, really raised it up quite a bit. All right, so let's dive into Wakefield. So Wakefield, 10% above asking. Average sales price, $830,000. Average list price, $762,000. So average days on market, 24 days on average, and this was based on 21 properties, so a pretty good sample size. Some of the categories that jumped out, from the $500,000 to $599,000 range, there was 2 homes that sold, and they went on average 15% above asking. Another category that jumped out, $800,000 to $899,000, 2 homes in that category as well, and they went on average 13% above asking. And then in the $1 million to $1,499,000 range, there were 3 homes that sold, and they went on average, 5% above asking, but the average days on market was 85. So when you look at 24, for the whole town, 85 days average on those 3 homes raised it up. So homes are actually selling, besides that category, relatively fast, in Wakefield. And now let's talk about Wenham, not to be confused with Rentham. So in Wenham, average 10% above asking. Average sales price $1,166,000. Average list price $1,054,000. That was only based on 6 homes though, but the average days on market only 14. So things are selling very, very quickly, in this town. In the big category in this town, from $1 million to $1,499,000, there was 3 homes that sold, and they went on average 13% above asking. Now let's talk about Lincoln, Massachusetts, not to be confused with Lincoln, Rhode Island. So in Lincoln, average 10% above asking. So the average sales price in Lincoln, Massachusetts, $1,200,000 $209,000. Average list price, $1,112,000. So that's 10% above. And then average days on market, again, things are selling fast in this town also, 14 days on average on market. But this town, it's only based on 4 homes, but that's what it is in this town. All right, that brings us to Cambridge. So in Cambridge, the average sales price was actually 11% above asking. So the average sales price was $2,835,000, and the average list price was $2,522,000. Average days on market was 29 days on average, and this was based on 7 homes. So, a couple categories jumped out a little bit. It is only 7 homes, but there was one home that was listed at $3,950,000, and it sold for $5,500,000. So it went for 39% above asking. But still, the rest of the categories were still high. There was not one actually there was one category, but there was only one category that was not 100% or above for asking price. Some of the other categories, 1 million to 1.499 million was 20% above asking. Then there was one home, that was listed at $2,150,000. It sold for $2,400,000, and that was 12% above asking. And just since I mentioned it, I'll mention that one category that was below, and that was just one home. It was listed at $1,850,000, and it sold for $1,780,000. So it went for 4% below asking. All right, that brings us to Easthampton. So in Easthampton, 12% above asking on average. So the average sales price in Easthampton, $403,000. Average list price, $359,000. So this is based on 10 homes. Average days on market, 22 days on average. A couple of the categories that jumped out, like I said, 12% for the whole town, but a couple that jumped out, we got from $400,000 to $499,000. There was 3 homes in that range. Some went for 16% above, 17% above. So that's what some of those are looking like. And then there was one home that was listed at $399,000, and it sold for $526,000. So it went for 32% above asking. All right, now over to Pelham. So in Pelham, 12% on average above asking. So in Pelham, the average sales price was $630,000. Average list price, $553,000. Average days on market, 24 days on average on market. And this was based on 7 homes. And there was a couple categories that stuck out in Pelham. There was one home that was listed at $749,000, and it sold for $910,000. So it went for 21% above asking. And then there was another home that was listed at $999,000, and it went for $1.2 million. So that home went for 20% above asking. All right, now over to Arlington. And Arlington is a town that we see often on this hot towns list in Massachusetts. On average, 12% above asking in Arlington. The average sales price, $1,209,000. The average list price, $1,094,000. Average days on market, 17. This is based on 25 homes, so a good sample size for Arlington. And a couple categories that jumped out. I mean, every category is, on average above asking, but a few that jumped out. The $900,000 to $999,000 range, there was 4 homes, and the average there was 17% above asking. And then from 1 million and up, you're looking at 10 homes, 4 homes, 1 home, and you're looking at all high percentages: 11% over, 15% over, 14% over. So Arlington, again, on the hot towns list, everything's going pretty strong in Arlington as far as real estate goes. And that brings us to the last hot towns for this video, and that's Ashland. And Ashland's been on the list before, but they had the highest average percentage. It was 14% above asking. The average sales price, in Ashland was $753,000. The average list price was $670,000. This was based on 9 homes. Average days on market, only 9 days on average on market in Ashland. So a couple of the categories that jumped out, there was 2 homes sold in the $600,000 to $699,000 range, and they went on average 31% above asking. So, that was a huge category right there. Of all the hot towns that I've done, that was one of the hottest categories. So, also, if you look across the board, I mean, all the categories are 9%, 10%, 9%, 10%. So you can definitely see where that 14% on average came from, for the whole town. And one other thing I just wanted to mention, you know, is that there are some towns that have been on the previous Hot Towns video, and, you know, they're still doing good, you know, 7% above, 8% above, 6% above, you know, in that range, some of them. So they're doing good, but, you know, I just can't go over every single town. This video will be way too long. You know, I just concentrate, you know, on the highest percentages and go from there. And also, there might be a few towns that might have like 1 home sold or 2 homes that could have been higher. There was a couple like that, you know, but based on 1 or 2 homes, you know, even some of these that only have 4 homes, I feel like that's kind of low. You know, but it is what it is. Those are the numbers. You know, but if it's like 2 homes or 1 home, I don't even mention that. So I just want to touch base on that. So if you saw your town or you saw a town last month and they're not on it this month, it doesn't mean they dropped off a cliff. It just means that these towns for the last 30 days, you know, kind of rise above, and, you know, these are the top towns. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. I also do real estate market update. You know, I kind of do both videos back to back. You know, I just make them separate. So if you want to look more into Massachusetts overall, or Bristol County, or certain towns that are my hometown, like Swansea, Somerset, you know, Seekonk, even in Rhode Island, I go to Warren, Barrington, Bristol, you know, Massachusetts, Dayton, Rehoboth. So, you know, so a lot of things in that video. So check that video out too. You know, I'll put the thumbnail up on the screen so you can see what it looks like. Check that out. But thank you for watching. Hopefully next month we'll do another Hot Towns video, and I'll see you then.